All right, welcome everyone. This is a mid-afternoon edition of,
Nothing but worry.
and I am your male host, Lance Ash, and besides me is the female host, Bonnie Ash.
Hello, Mr. Freshly Shorn Haircut.
Yes, tell them about my haircut. What do you think?
It's growing on me. At first I thought it was a little too long, but given the middle age issues, I think it's worked well with you. For you.
Well, I don't know if there's a woman down the road that cuts hair out of this little tiny building that clearly used to be a house. And I've gotten my haircut there 4 times now, I think. She used to charge $15 for a haircut, so with $5 tip, $20 bill, fine. Now she's charging $20. And I felt like I had to give her $5 tip.
Absolutely.
So $25 for a haircut, I just feel it's just outrageous.
Well, you still make more than that in an hour, so you're okay.
So anyway, my hair was getting pretty long. It was getting long enough I could put it in a ponytail, little tiny ponytail. And Bonnie hated it.
It was unflattering as hell. When he got up, it was like Ronald McDonald had attacked his hair and put on his wig. It was bad.
So this woman cut the hair, and it's been pretty cold this week. So, I mop it down like usual with water, just run my fingers through it backwards, and put the hat on, and the hat kind of seals it in place. Well, a couple of days ago, I'd taken my hat off, and I went to the bathroom, and the act of taking the hat off had fluffed the hair just perfectly, but it was still in place, and it had this sort of youthful, preppy look, I thought. Yeah. So why don't you tell them about our errands today?
Oh God, as usual, we always have to run weekly errands. Where did we start? We took off the recycling. We picked up a book at the library, the newest Harry Dresden. And, then we drove over to...
Hobby Lobby was next, I believe.
No, we went to Trader Joe's next. Went to Trader Joe's.
Okay.
We got the basil. We were there among 80% men getting flowers. The place was filled with flowers. Nearly every man, except my man, had flowers in their hand. And I told them I didn't want flowers. Once I got in there and I looked around, I realized that I wanted little food treats. And I found a non-dairy chocolate crisp bar, Colombian chocolate, yada yada. And then we got a fresh plant, basil plant. So I finally just burned through that last one. We had it for like 3 months. And we got vegan sausages and vegan stuffed pasta. And we got salad fixings and a French loaf and spicy spaghetti sauce and black pepper Italian pasta. Just all kinds of nifty treats. And of course, Lance got his peanut butter pretzels, which he loves. Oh, and we got the falafels. The Trader Joe falafels are fabulous.
I've never seen so many people in that place before.
It was packed. And they had so many registers open, which is the good thing about Trader Joe's. And in addition, they also had staff all over the store stocking and doing samples and helping customers. They must have had 25 or 30 people on staff in that tiny little store right there.
Every time I go in there, I'm baffled by how large their staff is.
And there's always somebody up in the customer service booth. There's usually 2 people up there. And they are running to and fro. The place was jam-packed. Then we went over to Hobby Lobby. And then we went to the liquor store because B needs some gin and vodka. I realized that I had last bought gin and vodka, and I buy the very large sizes. It was over 3 years ago because Reed had left Atlanta and she'd moved back to Athens, and she stayed with us for 4 months. And when she left, I went and stocked up my bar because she had burned through a lot of liquor while she was here. What can I say? Her mom drives her to drink. And so I went and restocked. And I remember at the time I spent over $100. And I got multiple bottles of things. Today I spent, what, 60, and I got 2 bottles?
But they were very big bottles.
They were very, very big bottles. The gin, the Beefeater's gin I got, was the largest size they had available. It was so heavy that I'm considering decanting it into the old bottle so that I could properly hold it and measure it out. And then we came home after that. And we had a nice lunch. I made Lance some leftovers, burritos from leftovers. I'd made a black bean and rice box meal the other night, and he had half of it left over. So I took that and chunky guacamole and sour cream and cheese and Cholula hot sauce and tomatoes and lettuce and that rice and beans mix, and made him a couple burritos. There was a little bit left, so I had that with some chips and hot sauce.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can make a wrap
Out of
out of
anything.
just about anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of topics actually today.
You know that we didn't finish all of our errands.
Yeah, we have other things we have to do, but we'll have to go over that tomorrow. All right, let me see what I got here. What I said we might do some personal anecdotes, but I mentioned one today of mine.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
I know what it
What was
was. I know what it was. Okay. All right. Many years ago, my mother's mother and father lived right next to where we live now, because they used to live in Monroe, Georgia, and my mother didn't like the neighborhood they lived in, so she persuaded them when she had the means to move here, to sell their house there and move here. So they must have lived here 20 years before they died, easily. So anyway, they had a Gran Torino, forest green.
So that's one of those really big 70s cars?
Yeah. It was maybe 74, maybe. Everything on the interior, vinyl. Everything. And so my grandparents were I've told this story before again. All right, so they raised 2 pigs from the time they were piglets, and they fed them on household scraps, and then they were going to have them butchered and, make all this meat and sell whatever they could, I guess. So anyway, they would have the vet come over occasionally, and now I don't know how true this is, because this happened 40-something years ago. But apparently the vet told them, oh, these pigs need fresh air. You need to take them for a drive. You need to take them out and get them. Now, knowing them, they probably got the story mixed up. But they loaded these 2 goddamn pigs in the back seat of this Gran Torino.
Well, when you drive cattle or drive any kind of herd, that means you let them out into the field. Mm-hmm. That's what is intended by that phrase.
Probably, yeah.
Or
maybe, what?
You move them into a different pasture, you give them some more room, okay? So they took it to mean driving the automobile.
So anyway, they drive them around the block, and the pig shit all in the back seat, all in the floor, all over the place. Can you imagine? So when they get home, my grandfather took the garden hose and washed out the interior of the car. Now the water has nowhere to drain. So he takes a great big standard screwdriver and punches holes in the bottom of the floorboard so that the water will drain out. Now, every day, we lived about a mile from where the bus would drop us off. So every day, my grandmother would meet us up there at the bus stop. We'd get off the bus, the post office, say hello to my mother, and then get in the car with my grandmother, and she'd drive us home. I remember riding in that car on the way home and looking down and seeing the road go by underneath those big holes, those slashes in the floorboard.
Now, my family is a mixed lot. Yours are all hill folks, but mine had either money or they were hardworking, that sort of thing. And when my dad went to college, his parents basically gave him enough to pay for his first quarter, at that point it was quarters, at Georgia Tech. And they said, good luck, you're going to have to make it on your own. So every single quarter, he had to come up with a way to earn money. And the first couple of years, he would do the co-op programs and go work for the naval base down at Key West. And later on, he was a TA. He worked at the Tate Student Center. He was like the night manager there. And then that's after he transferred to UGA. And then he got a job as a carpenter's assistant. And he also, at one point, was got his rent free or something, because he would do repairs around the other properties the guy owned. Anyway, so he was always scraping by, always had next to no money. At one point, he bought a car for $80. And I don't know if it was the same car as, he went through a series of cars that were just to get him around from one spot to another. And one of the cars he bought for $80, all he did was put gas in it, didn't even bother changing the oil. Had it for a year, sold it for $80, moved on to the next vehicle. At one point, he had a vehicle that had the passenger side floorboard rusted out. And he was working down at the mill, the carpentry shop, and they allowed him to have a scrap piece of paper and cut it to size so it could fit into the floor, so that he could have a passenger ride in his car. And when he was finally able to, he started, when we were living in Germany, he started buying new cars. First one he had was a new BMW. And that lasted until he hit a patch of ice and somehow or another ended up turned over in the car, and it was spinning on its top. He flipped it over, got it home, but it never quite drove right. And then he ended up getting a new Volvo, and then we brought that one back to the States with us. But after that, he always got new cars, because he had lived for so long with shitty cars that he would always buy a new one. One year he made a mistake. He bought a Honda that was a little Civic. It was the same model as that Civic you had. Mm-hmm. And it was this tiny little thing. And he was working probably, I don't think it was Baltimore, it was probably in Atlanta at the time. Yeah, it was Atlanta. Stephanie was riding with him. And he said they drove that thing for less than a year, paid it off very quickly, and got another car. He said that car could barely make speed on the highways up there, because up there it was 55 at the time, but you were going 65 and 70, and he could barely keep pace with the traffic. He said at one point the car sounded so bad it sounded like he was riding a little Waring blender. But ever since then, my dad's always bought really nice cars and really new cars with all the features.
When you mentioned that about the car with the missing passenger side floorboard, it reminded me of that documentary we watched on the Toynbee tiles. Remember that?
No, I don't. What was this?
There was a mystery back in the 70s of the Toynbee tiles.
Oh, the ones that are implanted in streets and they have different decoration on them.
That's right.
Was it Philadelphia? Or?
Oh, they've been spotted in South America. And this documentary, this guy, he figured out who did it and how he did it. It's really cool.
So basically, he would go along and lift up part of the floor of his van or car.
This car was missing. He had cut it out deliberately because he had figured out this way to drop these, I think they were tar-backed vinyl tiles that he'd cut out and made, so that when the cars ran over them, it would embed it in the road And it was this message for all humanity. Anyway, so now the first topic I have, I was very enthusiastic about it when I first thought of it, but can't work up the energy for it now. But it's basically this. Last week I mentioned some of the things that irked me about the movie Die Hard. Well, this is some of the stuff that irks me about the movie City Slickers. And I didn't finish the Die Hard one. But City Slickers is, in so many ways, a movie designed to push the buttons of the 40-something-year-old male at that time period in particular. Bruno Kirby, the whole thing about the end, I'm going to go home and get my woman pregnant. And
now, is it the movie that starts off with the phone rings at 4 a.m. and Billy Crystal's mom goes, "This time 40 years ago, I would gave birth to a bouncing baby boy."
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. We were looking this up just the other day, and I said, "See, the woman who plays Billy Crystal's wife in this movie looks just like Sandal Bergman from Conan the Barbarian." For years, I thought they were the same actress. But anyway, but one of the other scenes that really irks me is when Billy Crystal and his buddies are meeting the other guests. They meet this father and son black guys who are dentists, and they're introducing, we're both dentists, and Billy Crystal says something like, "Oh, you're both dentists," and the kid, the son says, "Yes, we're both dentists and we're black. Let's not make a big deal about it." And then the father's like, "He's not making a deal," and it's clearly to make the white guys watching the movie at that time period go, "Yeah, you tell that uppity young black, what's it?" It really. Yeah. Nothing to say in response?
No, it's just we've gotten to the point in the society where there are all these things which trigger men, that they feel somehow or another that they're being attacked or they're being put upon. I don't know if you remember this, but a couple decades ago, there was a young man in Canada who went into an engineering class or school and shot all these women because they were women.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to just constantly be upsetting to men that women somehow or another are no longer being dominated by the men in society, that women can exist separately and independently of men. There's this backlash.
Well, I've told you before that a lot of life is identity, and you found or form your identity on a different basis, different categories. And some people, they find their fundamental identity in their gender. They go, "Well, I am a man." Now, that doesn't mean just I am a man. I am the positive declaration I am a man. It's also I am not what is not man. I am not woman. And anything that makes me step into woman's territory or women step into my territory confuses things for me, because I must remain a man and not woman. So a woman becoming a professional, or a woman getting an education, or a woman running for office, or whatever, it irks them.
One of the things this past week had the Super Bowl show, and Bad Bunny did the program, the halftime show. We saw this one crazy conservative going off on, and Bad Bunny's worn skirts and dresses before. Yeah, so is Harry Styles, so have the members of U2, and it's been to make statements about the fact that it's okay to step outside of what society says you should be. I mean, Scottish men all adopt this damn kilt and joke around about how it makes them grow larger with the fresh air blowing up their skirts, I mean, this identity that's so fixed on what you wear and how you speak and what you do, and then there's this crazy movement that's going on at the same time as all this massive macho thing where they're sculpting their faces by crushing bones and all this other kind of crap. We heard about this on internet today this week.
Yeah, it's the first I'd ever heard of it.
And it's crazy. I mean, you want to be more appealing to the women, so you're doing the gender affirming surgeries that women do? I don't get this. I mean, here's an idea. Work on your fucking attitude and make yourself more interesting. If you want to lose weight, fine. If you want to buff up, fine. Do you really need to go and have your face sculpted and hair implants? Just be a better person. I mean, Lance and I know people
A lot of this is
are off-putting because the way their attitudes are towards women, you know?
But a lot of it is, well, yeah, I like hanging around with a woman when it's time to, have sex or
She cooks a meal.
Cooks a meal. But when it's time for real social bonding, I go hang out with my buddies.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So the only other topic I have written down is, I think this is a longer one. Where's it at? Oh, now we may have gone over this before. Did we go over this already? If they made a movie version of WKRP, who would be cast as whom?
I don't recall.
I find that a fascinating idea.
Honestly, I'm not up to date on who all
The current actors and I know.
Exactly, yeah. We were listening to some music this past week. It was Clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this song, was it the Concrete Gravel Road?
Mm-hmm.
I said, this song would make a great opening song for a TV series starring Titus Welliver. Because he's got this hangdog kind of brain, older guy, tough look, and he can buff up pretty well. He's got some tats on his own, and it's one of those shows that you would expect the guy to go in and ride around on a motorcycle and go, or in an old truck. Not one of these stupid small penis trucks. No, one of the old trucks that are worth a damn and made of steel. And he'd drive around and help people out or something.
I don't know.
What
kind of a show it would be?
You and I we don't watch the movies that make people big stars these days. So,
well, most of these movies are just superhero poop crap spectacle.
That's the thing.
I don't care. I don't want to watch.
There's more than that. I know there's more than that.
I would
don't
rather
care, quite honestly.
You were we were joking. We were only joking about getting a gigantic screen TV. Yeah. Just a joke.
Yeah.
The TV we had that we bought, a year ago, 2 years ago, is plenty.
4 years ago at this point.
3 years?
3 years ago? It's been several years.
No, it hadn't been that long. Because we bought that DVD player to go with it, and we were going to start watching movies, and we never did.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, if we did and make it like a special area, I'd love to watch old classics like Breathless or.
Well, the thing that really got us talking about the big TV was you introduced me to a concept of these Japanese listening clubs. Do you remember the name of the Kisa clubs? Where people go in and they sit around in kind of a relaxed living room / bar environment.
And they're very small.
Yes, extremely small, very intimate. And they've got good listening equipment, and they go in to listen. Yes, you can get a drink, maybe get something to eat. But the purpose for going in is to listen to fucking music, and to be around people that maybe be willing to discuss it with you, that sort of thing. But listen to the music. So Lance found this awesome Japanese metal band. What are they called?
Ningen Isu.
Say the last name
Okay,
complete. Like
the way we would pronounce it is Ningen Isu,
yeah.
but the U at the end of the S is sort of like a concession to the fact that whenever you end a word with a consonant, there's a sense that you're like say you're saying the word toot, toot. There's that toot at the end. So if you say is, there's a is, so ending the S like that. So they add that U when they're transliterating it to like be like a concession to. That's the way that their
So the band
conception.
is called,
Ningen Is.
and they've got 3 guys in it. The drummer kind of looks like an Elvis knockoff. The bassist is this Buddhist monk type, and the other looks like Ed Tant wearing a kimono. And they are badass. So we're watching these videos this week, and you said something like, "I'd love to be able to listen to this in the living room where we've got stereo equipment, etc." But the CDs are $35 and $50 and such. We're not doing that. And I said, it'd be cool if we had a TV in there. We could mount it on the wall and have it on one of those mounts that you can pull out and angle into the room so you can watch. I said, yeah, we should get one of those big ones like they have at Sam's Club. When you first walk into Sam's Club, there's this massive wall of televisions. And they're like 4, 5, 6 feet across. I don't mean the cross diameter. I mean actual width. They're huge. And we went to look up what these TVs would be. And I typed in one, and somebody had put on the reviews pictures of it in their house. They had televisions where their kids were sitting in front of the TVs on the floor, and they were completely dwarfed by this massive television. And then the kids were sitting there holding their handheld devices and phones and were looking at them while the TV's playing. I was like, this is the ultimate in decadence. This is ridiculous. But the TVs would take up an entire wall of a living room. And these were 6-foot spans, 8-foot spans. And it was centered right there on the wall, and the whole room was around this. But if we had some kind of TV in here, I said, we could stream the videos and listen to it. Because once Peter finally fucking moves out, god damn, he can't move out soon enough, we can play music whenever we want to, at whatever volume we want to. As is, his schedule is such he comes home, he's in bed by 8:30 most nights. He's up at 4:45. And we can't do this, I mean, you're up till all night, basically, on your weekends, and we want to be able to listen to music whenever.
Yeah. Several days this week. See, I only sleep 4 hours, and then I get up and poot around for like 2 hours and go back to bed for 4 hours. Then I go to work. So we call that midday. But every day, just about every day this week at midday,
Did you see that?
Hold on, she's got scratch marks. How'd that happen?
I clawed myself last night scratching because I was itching so badly.
What, while you were asleep or something?
No, I was awake.
Yeah, my lower legs are
going back
on fire right
your
now.
Late night.
Because of scratching.
Day. It'd be nice for
I
you to-
paint it a little bit every day, which I don't normally do because
Yeah.
it's such a hassle to set everything up. But I got this thought that came to my head. What if you were retired and you could just do this all the time? Like a job. There used to be this... there's a place in Athens called Five Points, which is distinguished from the real Five Points, which is in Atlanta. But it's a little intersection, and there's all these little shops and things. It's a nice little area. There used to be this place downstairs around the back of this one of the stores called Archipelago Antiques. And you go down these stairs and go in there. There's this old guy ran the place.
Retired professor.
And there was a room in the back that was full of pretty, to be honest, crappy watercolors. But in the back there was a sectioned off area, and this woman sat there all day and painted these watercolors all day. This somehow she had arranged or some kind of arrangement with the guy who owned the place that this she would display and sell her works there, and that would be where she worked all day. And you'd go in there, you didn't realize she was in there, and all of a sudden you'd go around the corner, and there she's sitting there, and she would just ignore you, and you would just pop out, oh, sorry, you know.
When we traveled over to Tracy Street and saw all the development over there last weekend, one thing we saw over and over were studios. Musician studios, art studios, dance studios. They had converted all these old, train station places and warehouses into these studios. And I'd forgotten just how many studios there used to be in Athens. When Mullins built his studio, he did it out of, was it old chicken houses or something? Or again, was it one of those rail stations or something? And I know.
I forgot about him. Stan Mullins?
Yeah.
Who was he again?
Stan Mullins is a local artist. He also did some aid work in Africa. Anyway, he has a development off Pulaski Street. His studios are over there. He continues to work out of that space.
I forgot all about him.
It's been a while. It's been a day. I haven't seen him in like 15 years.
Huh. Oh, me. 3-day weekend. As usual, my first day off, I'm all screwed up. But, good news, I'm getting off caffeine. And
Knock on wood.
I'm down to 2 cups of tea. I've already had my cups for the evening, and so I think if I can make it through the night, I'll be set.
We shall see.
Let me check something here.
Whereas lately, I've been up to 2 cups a day instead of just doing my morning cup. Had to do my afternoon.
I remembered something that we're supposed to do this weekend.
What is that?
Yeah, go through the clothes in my room.
Also supposed to do blood work, but then I got to thinking I have the heart doctor next week, and they're going to order blood work. And then I have the annual exam month after, so I need blood work. So I might as well just try to combine everything into one trip, because I hate going to do the blood work. I despise it.
Yeah, I know.
Such a pain in the arse.
So we need to do that, and I don't know how much other shit we got to do this weekend. We'll see.
Well, I want to do the shelf unit. Replace the current mini shelf I have for a overflow pantry, and go ahead and get that large 4-foot by 7-foot pantry set up.
Okay. What was the other thing I had to do? Oh shit! I just saw it on the damn card.
I don't know, old man.
Old man, she says.
Why don't you put on your girl glasses and look?
No, wait. Why are they girl glasses?
Okay, let me see the glasses. Hand them to me. All right, first off, he found these. They're just laying around.
No. I got these at the dollar store.
These you bought on purpose. Okay.
I got
the frames are peach. They're a lovely pale peach. And each of the arms of the glasses have a lovely brown black background. And then over the top of that is an array of little squares of pastels. Pinks, pale pinks, light blues, yellows, more blues and grays.
Now let me give you some context.
They're gold glasses.
I haven't really advanced to the stage of getting prescription glasses yet. I have an array of reading glasses in a couple of different strengths scattered all over the house.
Yes.
And in the car and in my bag I take to work.
Yes.
Anyway, I needed this particular strength of reading glasses, and I'd go to the dollar store because that's the best place to get them. And this is the only style of frame they had. But I'll say this:
Yeah, that's true.
I got these about 2 years ago, and I have gotten so many compliments on them. People think this like some sort of fashion statement.
It is a fashion statement, dear. It says that you are a man comfortable in your sexuality, so much so that you can wear girl glasses. And you can look kind of cute in them, too.
They're just arty.
But he has not taken up wearing skirts, though, and for that I'm grateful because, well, the man goes commando. Wait a minute. What the Scots said. Scotsman said that you can grow some.
Yeah,
fresh
really.
hair.
I thought it was plunging into the ocean naked. Billy Connolly showed his dick in that movie.
What? What are you talking about?
Mrs. Brown.
Oh, I never saw that.
We saw it together.
I don't remember this.
What was that? Judi Dench? That wasn't her. Judi Dench, wasn't it?
Seems like it was.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
Oh Lord.
King's Speech was pretty good too. That's my kind of movie. Slow and boring, you know.
Yeah.
We want to watch giant robots hitting each other.
Yeah, it's really funny. They've got that movie Sinners, and it's on free right now for Amazon, and it's about a black nightclub in, I don't know, Louisiana or something, back in the 40s, I guess, or something, or 20s. And the whole thing is that the vampires are trying to kill everybody. And the vampires are actually like the KKK members and all that, and it's all racism and I don't know, as good as it's supposed to be. I don't know. I did give in and watch that one battle after another with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I absolutely did not like it. And it just went nowhere. The pace was terrible. The writing was horrible. You just didn't give a shit. The actors that were in it were underutilized because they had some really good actors, people that are known for doing it. Even DiCaprio, it was lackluster. Benicio del Toro was the best part of it, but even he was underutilized. And so I'm just like, I'm not that keen on watching all the great movies, the recommended. You and Peter went to see one of the, what movies? Predator movies?
Yeah, several months ago.
Yeah. I had no desire to see that. There is like one or two sci-fi movies I might want to see this year. But I don't know, it's going to be like pulling teeth to make myself watch even those. And I supposedly want to see them. I think Ryan Gosling's got one where he goes out into space trying to save the Earth and meets some kind of alien. And they talk to each other and it's supposed to be humorous and heartwarming and I don't know. I can't imagine ever going to the theater ever again. The experience is too loud. It's uncomfortable. I need to go to the bathroom twice at least, you know?
Ow.
Did you have to go to the bathroom the entire time you were at that movie?
No, I didn't go to the bathroom once.
That's strange.
Um,
Was it too loud?
it was way too loud. I mean, after a while you get numb to it, but
Did you come out and have ears ringing?
I didn't notice.
Oh.
It was really good. It's interesting. I can't remember what the trailers were for. Of course, I don't give a shit about trailers. People act like this, part of the experience. But
Now it's gotten to the point where I'd rather watch a trailer about whatever movies are out there than to watch the movie itself. And I think it may be because it kind of reminds me why I just don't give a shit anymore. It just reinforces the idea that they're not making stuff that interests me at all.
yeah, plus, I'm fundamentally. I mean, when I was younger, I did like movies a lot, but I've just gotten to the point where I'm just not a person who just wants to sit down and be absorbed with something for an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Well, prior
I don't know.
to the pandemic, there was this 5-year period or so where women in their 50s were dominating the screen, and from the hours and on, and that was a period when I was, of course, able to identify with that age group, etc. Um, and all these women have now aged out into their 60s, and that whole generation of women that were the Frances McDormand, Annette Bening, all those types that were dominating, even, what's her name? The one with the big forehead. What's his name? Hates.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. They were dominant, and now it seems like they've all kind of just disappeared, and the movies they were making disappeared. Maybe they're not making movies for my age group anymore. I don't know.
Well, number one, I think that if I could relax, and getting off caffeine is part of that, I'd be able to sit down and watch a movie. But second, about what you're talking about, I think that there are different kinds of men or women too. I think Pauline Kael is a good example of when you go to the movies, it's not just about the story or the camera work. It's also, to a great extent, identification with the characters, and that means identification with the actors. And there are some, let's just say men, who they don't really want to watch a woman being the lead in a story, whether it be some superhero thing or not, whether it be some kitchen sink drama or not. But I'm the kind of guy, that's one of the reasons I like a lot of Woody Allen movies, because a woman, an actress, is the central character, the central focus. He's done so many great movies like that. Another Woman, Alice, Interiors, and I really like a lot of these older established actresses. Like Helen Mirren is great.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie Smith, when she's talking about the homemade marmalade in Gosford Park.
Yummy, yummy.
Yummy, yummy. And, oh dear, store-bought marmalade. Name some other great... Meryl Streep, of course, obviously. Glenn Close is a great actress. Frances McDormand is a great actress.
She is so charming. There is something so earthy and natural about her.
Yeah, and she can be sort of...
Holly Hunter, is that her name? Can be really cute and charming.
Is she the one that's in Raising Arizona?
Yeah, yeah.
She is great, yeah.
It doesn't have to be some bombshell. And now they're trotting out people like Sydney Sweeney, who looks like her eyes are going to tumble out of her head, and her mouth's going to stay agape and just like, catch rain. You're like, other than her tits, I mean, she can't, no, I'm sorry. I mean, Nicole Kidman, highly versatile actress. Highly versatile. And the 8 Hours, Dogtown, just all sorts of the Tom Cruise thing that she did with Eyes Wide Shut. It's just all sorts of things. I can't think of anybody else right now.
Well, from the past, Audrey Hepburn was great.
Oh, she was. She was lovely.
I'll tell you a movie I've wanted to see for a long time. It's called The Whales of August. And it's these three older ladies. And they run into, they're like either on vacation or they live in the Mediterranean or something. And Vincent Price is this older, distinguished gentleman who comes into their lives. And it's it's not a mystery or a horror movie. It's just something charming, about people meeting other people. I'd love to see that. I think it's Lillian Hellman, right before she died, or
I honestly don't know it.
I don't know any of these people's names.
The last time you and I watched anything like that, it was that Irish lawsuits.
Oh, Widow's Peak.
Widow's Peak. Joan Plowright was
Joan Plowright was in it.
Mia Farrow. Who else?
Jim Broadbent. Miranda Richardson. Now, is that a name?
I honestly don't know.
The one that was married to Liam Neeson. Richardson. Natasha Richardson.
Yeah, that's her name.
She was in it. Of course, she's dead now. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
What it's a great, cute little movie. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Natasha Richardson's great in it. Oh dear. I wish Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas would do one more movie.
Isn't Kathleen Turner dead now? Didn't she die?
Kathleen Turner? She's not dead, is she?
I thought she was. Did that Christy, what's her name from?
Catherine O'Hara died a couple of weeks ago.
No. The one your sister looked like.
The one my
that
sister
was in the
looked.
bar where everybody knows your name. Cheers.
Kirstie Alley?
Yeah, she died.
She died. She's been dead a couple of years, yeah.
I don't remember who all died.
When you look
for
back,
a while, everybody was dropping dead. That year, Tom Petty died. Jesus.
but when you look back at like the first year that she was on Cheers, she was pretty hot. Not really my thing. And then she got like 300 pounds.
That's what she reminded me of your sister. She got all chunky like that.
That way she acted in that guy did that Scientology documentary, and she acted like she was being personally attacked because he was questioning her faith.
Like I said, reminds me of your sister.
Yeah. Oh God. I tell you what I would love to do. I would love to have like really professional massage. That's number one. And then I'd like to stretch out and maybe try to watch something. I've already eaten.
Tell you what. We put a blanket over on the red couch, and you and I massage each other's feet. And maybe use a little bit of that oil or something. Rub it in.
Actually,
sit back and veg.
That is not a bad idea, actually.
I haven't rubbed your feet when you came over from work in quite a while. I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day I was thinking I would appreciate a foot massage myself. So. Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, so let's see how much... we've only been talking about 45 minutes, I think.
You think?
47, yeah.
Oh.
Well...
Oh, God, we got to put up with the kid at home this weekend. Peter's home.
Oh, is he?
Saturday, Sunday.
I think it's going to rain this weekend, too.
Ugh. And so if he's home, then Megan's going to be over here, and they're going to be canoodling on the other end of the house, and... Christ. I imagine Reed and Andrew will be good doing something for Valentine's Day.
It's such a dumb holiday. They will just invent something to guilt people into buying shit they don't need.
So I had to explain to Lance the other holiday that's tomorrow. In addition to Valentine's, you have Galentines for the gals in your life that don't have boyfriends, man, husband types. You give Valentine's gifts to your girlfriends, your BFFs and such. Just more reasons to spend money.
Okay, we went to Hobby Lobby today so I can get some canvas, and I'm in line. And the kid in front of me is... this is something very interesting. All those knickknacks that are set up for sale up there at the register, those are impulse items.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
Catch your eye, one last chance to make one little sale. Well, they had the cheapest possible understanding of what a chocolate sampler was on sale. Heart-shaped box, and you could just tell it was like just cut-rate candy, third-rate, low-rent garbage. And this kid, I saw the whole thing happen. his eye was caught by the packaging, and he actually reached out his hand and he sort of touched it like he's fondling it. Should I buy it for Marie? Will she appreciate it? Yeah, I will. I will get it for her. And he bought it. He did. If he hadn't happened to turn his head at that last second, he wouldn't have spent that $5, whatever it was. Jesus Christ.
I must admit I'm guilty of a similar sort of thing. When the kids were growing up, they did all the little Valentine exchanges at school. And so I would get one of their little Valentines out of the collection and set aside for each of them. And then buy them one of those little bitty hearts. Those tiny little hearts. And it had 5 pieces of chocolate in it. There's a little Valentine's treat.
I know they did the same thing today, but when I was a kid, they already had the machinery in place, the marketing in place. And they have special package deals of a bunch of miniature greeting cards for people to buy when they're in 3rd grade, so they can give one to each member of the class.
Choose you.
But you could, back then, and I'm sure you can do this today, they were theme ones. Like these are all
Spider-Man!
These are all Spider-Man related, or these are all $6 Million Man related, or these are all Star Wars related. And R2 says he boop boop beep boop loves you or whatever, you know.
Yeah, or they all had cute kittens on them.
Yeah, shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
And
You know what the worst part of the Valentine's Day growing up, and they still have them, are those candy hearts with little
they're
mayonnaise.
horrible.
They taste like chalk. Oh my God. It's like, you ever been up on the chalkboard and you go back to your seat and you put your hand against your mouth and you accidentally taste some of the chalk? Like, ugh! That's what those things taste like.
They're not as bad as Necco wafers, but
Oh, those are terrible. I had some of those for the first time
they
several
really
years
are.
ago. And it's like chalk that melts on your tongue or something.
If you've ever had, like, say, for instance, Hamburger Helper or Betty Crocker or whatever, will have these instant, in a box meals. All you got to do is add ground beef or whatever. Well, the little dehydrated potato circles, that's what a Necco wafer feels like in your mouth. Sticking one of those things in your mouth. And it's got the slightest hint of sweetness. The rest of it is just like flat chalk. It's horrible.
At most, it tastes like red dye number 5. You know, it's bad.
It's like a candy from
It's supposed to be
100
you get
years
one that's
ago.
supposed to be a mint or a chocolate or whatever, and it's like somebody like blew the dust of that flavor across it.
In general, all your classic candy, I've gotten sick of all of it. I've just lost my taste for candy.
The other day, I was somewhere and I looked over and there was a Zero bar, and I was like, okay, that's something I rarely had. I enjoyed it. I reached over and sure enough, damn it, it's got milk in it. I had to put it back. And I came close. But I can't.
Well, you know, when we were kids, we were, at that time period, at that age, we were intimately acquainted with candy. We knew there were hundreds that you would get used to.
In the 70s.
Right.
The 70s was the time of sugar is the number 1 ingredient in breakfast cereal. And they had introduced not just sugar babies, but they had the sugar babies on a stick. Because it wasn't enough for you to pop a little bitty thing in your mouth. You had to sit there and suck on it. And we had the lollipop owl, where you know, how many licks does it
Tootsie
take?
Roll, Tootsie Pop.
That sort of thing. And there was all this marketing of candy. They even had things that were candy cigarettes, candy cigars. They had candy spoons, so that you would put it in a drink and stir it up and it would melt.
I'm sure you've heard me talk about this candy. Chico Sticks.
You have talked about it. It has coconut in it.
Yes.
But I had it, I think, once with you. We found some retro stuff
There
at the Dollar
is.
Tree.
I used to work with this black woman who's maybe 3 years younger than I am. And one day, many
Who,
years
Latoya?
no, Felicia.
Uh,
Many years ago, we were talking about candy, and she said, "Well, here's one some of you may not have heard of." And she said it, and I said, "Yes, I know that candy." I used to get off the bus every day and go into the little store that they had there, and buy one of those while they still had them. They're made by the Atkinson Candy Company in Texas, and that's the only product they made.
you introduced me to Cowtails.
Cowtails are fantastic.
Those were fabulous. What did I like? I always liked grape things. They had Now and Laters. Eventually, I guess that came out when I was in high school or something.
It came out in the late 70s, I think.
And so I would always go in and get the little mini packs. You would buy it, had 5 in it. And then
Right, yeah.
the it's not Laffy Taffy, was it? Those were
That
always
was
great.
one, yeah. Well, but also in those same two things, you could get banana flavor, which was my favorite. It's
Oh my God.
this smooth, creamy, weird flavor.
Funny you should mention banana flavor. My favorite was fresh, not old, fresh circus peanuts. I didn't know until I was in my 50s that circus peanuts are supposed to be banana flavored. I had no clue.
It's odd, isn't it?
And apparently, it isn't just me. At one point, my sister was complaining about our grandmother living off of circus peanuts. She's got the worst diet. She didn't even cook for herself now that granddad's dead. She just lives off circus peanuts. And I was like, okay, that's good.
That sounds like one of my mothers.
What was the chewy thing? Came in a single...
Rollos?
No. Was it Mary Jane's, was it?
Mary Jane's were cheap candy. They were sort of like a bit of honey flavor.
Bit of honey, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh,
I was like
speaking of
those.
which, something separate, but keep going.
No, that was it.
Something in Hobby Lobby didn't exactly smell like this, but it triggered the memory.
Oh.
And I want some now. I want some Golden Grams. That breakfast, the cereal.
Huh.
And I don't know, they probably don't taste the same way they did back then when they first came out. Stop playing with my ear, woman. She's teasing me.
Running my fingers through your hair.
That does feel good, though, there with a
Okay.
scratch of my head. When they first came out, it was a big deal, and I loved them. I loved how they wouldn't get soggy too quickly.
They were okay.
Waffles was a good cereal
I don't know
too.
why, but I liked frosted mini wheats.
Nah, I don't know.
But it wasn't the tiny ones. I liked the bigger ones. I don't know why. What was the oat bran cereal? Crunchy oat bran? It was the square
well, there was,
ones.
Yeah.
Peter loved those.
Well,
when
there's
he was
also
little.
crackling oat bran.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Peter used to love that. He was 3 or 4 years old. You know this bran.
Well, here's one. I don't think they make it anymore. Do you remember Corn Bran? That was a good cereal.
You introduced me to Corn Chex.
All those things, even the wheat checks, I love. All
We
of
were
them.
so poor at one point. We had WIC,
Mm-hmm.
and they would allow you to get certain types of cereals, and they couldn't have. But the Chex cereals and the Chex knockoffs were the things that we could get.
You know, thinking back on it,
That was a great program because I would get like a pound of lentils or pinto or black-eyed peas, peanut butter, those healthy cereals, milk. This was all when I was breastfeeding the kids. And when they were tiny, they got the little cereals, those soft cereals that you just add a little bit of water to. It's the first foods that they get.
well, now that you mention
Cheese.
it, we had this.
cheese into that program.
We had a big at the old house. We had a all the cabinetry on the inside was custom made because the place had been burned on the inside, and my dad rebuilt the entire interior.
We should have grabbed those cabinets and had them installed over here.
Yeah. So anyway, it had this big custom cabinet over there, real deep, And I remember opening that up and that top shelf being full of rice checks, corn checks, wheat checks.
It got to the point where I had it on top of the refrigerator too. I don't normally like to put things
That's
on
right,
the refrigerator. But we had so much cereal. But the WIC program is reminiscent of those programs you told me about that your mother's people got.
Mm-hmm.
They would go and they would pick up a box of cheese and other government-issued foods.
That's right, yeah.
I was thinking that something that, if they had any damn sense, the ag department would go to all these farmers who can't sell because of the stupid Trump tariffs. They ought to take that and buy in excess all the food.
Well, I was thinking about this last night.
The soybeans they can't get rid of, and the soybeans can be used for a ton of different products. And they could take it and warehouse those things. Because soybeans, once they're stored as they're dried, they can last for fucking ever.
I was thinking about this last night, and I hadn't thought about this fact in a long time. My mother lived in government housing growing up.
She did.
So
she was always driven to get out of there, she said.
And
that
then
is the
over
goal.
time,
it's meant to be a leg up or the last stop for people who were poor.
But over time, her political leanings, the very thing that she was given an advantage, she's voting for a party who wants to take that advantage away.
It's like what happened with Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
And now he turns his back on all the things that gave him his seat. And he acknowledges that affirmative action gave him this, that, and the other. He shouldn't be in that position where he took all this and then he turns his back on everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. This past month they announced, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Secretary Brooke Rollins, announced that they are no longer going to be releasing the reports on food. What is the phrase they use? Food scarcity. Because they know that things have gotten so bad that they don't want to report on it. And that reminded me of what happened during the pandemic, where Trump said, we need to stop reporting about these numbers. It's making our administration look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the CDC at that point had independent doctors and scientists of merit and such, and the scientific departments were run by people that were somewhat decent and believed in science. And now you don't have reports about teen pregnancy, you don't have reports about STDs, you don't have all of these other things. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how bad it is.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get into all that. It's too
Peter's
depressing.
fiance, our son's fiance, works at one of those plasma centers. And we've joked about, the students coming in there, they get beer money, and then they can go out and they're feeling loopy and stuff. And they go out and get drunk for cheap, and they've got beer money too. And I was watching a NBC article, a news report, about how middle-class people are now selling their plasma. You can do it legally twice a week, every week. They're selling their plasma for $300 to $500 a month, so they can make ends meet.
Now, are we officially referring to them as fiancés now?
Yeah, they're engaged.
What's he going to do for a ring, or they're not going to bother with that?
Something about a custom-made sword.
No, back up a second. What is
nerdlings? That? We raise nerdlings.
Instead of, here's your ring, wife, it's, here's your custom-made sword.
He gets down on his knee and presents her with a custom-made sword.
Did he...
Yeah, I know. You're partially responsible.
I'm not responsible.
Look, you're the one that introduced him to the, Howard, what's his name, the books, coming out of the whole series. I mean, okay, I also been introduced to Asimov and all that. Yes, we all promoted the nerdlings.
Oh my God. Is she into all that shit too?
She is she still likes Doctor Who. She used to be into the whole Marvel universe, but that's kind of like all taking a backseat to everybody now. And she still reads some fantasy. She's not big into science fiction. Whereas
So is
he
she?
is both. He's also sword and sorcery, D&D.
But is she actually a reader?
She got something or another. I don't know what she's reading. She mentioned it to you in her last email. Yeah.
I'm talking about that's Reed. I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean Megan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Megan has introduced Peter into numerous fantasy series, dragons, and I don't know what else.
So
Yeah.
she's a big reader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
They met at Academic Bowl, for God's sake.
Well,
She was in middle school.
I have to
coming
admit-
over to the high school Academic Bowl.
but why does it? Why does she come across so shy though?
She's very quiet. She's just a very quiet personality. She's also overwhelmed by crowds. Yes.
Well,
It took everything for them to go to the Pride Parade a couple years ago. He drug her out to the Pride Parade, and they went in and had on their ally shirts and such, and they did a parade together, and it was overwhelming for her to be around all those people. I mean, when she's at the Plasma Center, she's basically paperwork. She does processing and stuff. Yeah, she'll go and set people up sometimes, but she prefers to be behind the scenes. Peter's the same way. He prefers to be behind the scenes, but he can take the stage and perform if he needs. And it's like his storytelling. He loves his storytelling. And that's why D&D has worked out so well with him. I mean, he's got friends from
that's funny you mentioned
Georgia
that.
and the Carolinas, Virginia and New York, all gaming together. People that were all in the Athens area.
I
at
have
one point.
never eavesdropped on his game sessions. I would love to be a fly on the wall and watch and listen as he interacts with these people. I need to do that sometime. Have you done it?
No, not really. I mean, I've been in the hall and like dropped off the laundry or cleaned the bathroom or something while he's in there, and I can hear him running the game, because he's actually a DM, and so I can hear him doing his backstories. He'll take the players aside in private chat and tell them, okay, the situation's this. We're going to develop your backstory some here, and I'm going to give you this, and this is where we're headed in the game. I need for you to go out and manipulate the other players sometimes, or he's really funny.
Okay, well, listen, we need to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
we sure do.
It's over an hour now.
Yeah, we do.
So,
We raise nerdlings, yes.
3-day weekend. We may get back to you again if we feel like it, if there's any updates necessary.
Maybe.
Okay. So, anything to add?
Nah. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetie.
Happy Valentine's Day.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.